Shiro San here. So today I'm making a video on something very specific. How to go overseas with a university. But I want to say this at the beginning. I'm making this specifically for students of the University of the Sunshine Coast that want to travel overseas. Everything that I make reference to, it has been my past experience with University of the Sunshine Coast. I can't speak on behalf of any other universities. I assume that they offer something similar. However, I don't know. So I just want to say that first. And in saying that, if you are a USC student that wants to go overseas, I'm going to point out that everything I refer to is for in-country studies. At USC we have a program called the GO program, where you can travel anywhere overseas with any of our host institutes, so it's not just Japan like what I'm doing. So I want to point that out, that if you want to travel somewhere that isn't Japan or Italy or what's the other one, Indonesia, then I don't know what the program is. It is very different to, I am doing in-country studies, which means that I have a set course that I do when I'm overseas. If you want to travel to say like New York or Europe, any European countries, you have to find courses that match up with whatever degree you're studying at this host university. So whereas I don't have to do that because I'm doing in-country studies, so I want to really specify that this video is for USC students and for in-country study students. The process is very similar, I assume, like the overall how to go. So if you are a USC student and want to go to New York or anything, this video will help you, but it is specifically for going to Japan for in-country study. The process will be very similar at other universities. Everything I make reference to I will leave in the description box below, so if there's any extra information that you want, you only have to click in the box and you'll find it all at your fingertips. So to start with the GO program, they have an eligibility list. It is on their website. The eligibility, number one, is that you have to be over 18 when your going overseas commences. I don't know about other universities, but I'm generally speaking in Australia, within your first year of university, if you come straight from school, you will turn 18 in that time. So this usually isn't an issue. Another one is you have to have a GPA of 4.5, which I think is a pretty common GPA. If you pass all your courses, you will easily get a GPA of 4.5 or higher, so that one you usually don't have to worry about. Another one is that you have to have completed 8 courses before you go overseas. So 8 courses in Australia is the equivalent of a year full-time study. So when you have 8 courses to be completed, it doesn't mean what you have completed at the time of your application. It's what you will have completed by the time you go overseas to study. Another one is that you have to have 1 course remaining upon returning to USC. And another one, this one is for in-country students, that you have to meet the requirements of the course. For Japanese, they recommend that you have completed Japanese C. So in applying for the GO program, it is a fairly simple application process. You have a form that you fill out. It is 3 pages long, well technically 4, but the last one is just crap. So I'll go over them in more detail for you.
So this is the form in detail. I apologise for shaky hands in advance. There will be a link that will take you straight to this PDF, so you can look at it better than on a screen. But it's a really straightforward, you put in your personal details, so your ID number, your address, your name, if you're 18 years or above, and then what you're currently studying, and then your passport information, and then the destination. So like I said, USC has host universities all around the world, so you would put in the country and then you put preference 1, preference 2, and then your host institution. And at USC, I'm pretty certain it's on their website as well. I will look into that and leave a link if it is, but they have all the institution names so you can look up depending where you want to go. So you put preference 1. My preference 1 was Ritsumeikan, and my preference 2 was Kansai Gaidai, which is in Kansai, so Osaka. And then you have to write when it is, so the semester and then the year, and then the session and the year. Page 2, you just put your emergency contact details. If you have any medical disabilities, whether you agree to promote USC, your declaration, and then the privacy statement. And the last page is about the scholarships. It is very straightforward. You click yes, you'd like to apply for it, or no, and that is it. They do the rest for you. So generally speaking, you get about 3,000 Australian dollars from the GO program to help pay for flights or your visa or your means of transport. However, that is subject to change. I don't know if I can really say how much I got. However, it was more than $3,000 because I am going to an Asian country. For some reason, that makes a difference. And then you need to get 2 academic references. So these are teachers that you've had. So that is it. That's the whole form. It is very straightforward. The last page just has like all this kind of crap, you know, stuff about travel advice, travel insurance, liability, termination, personal conduct, you know, and then you just got to sign, and you get, if you are 17 when you're applying for this, you get your parents to sign it, and then you've got to get your faculty advisor to sign it as well. And that's it. That's the form for you.
That was the form. The form of how to go. It is very straightforward. It's probably one of the simplest forms I have ever filled out. Upon saying that, this form is only to apply for the GO program. When your university accepts you, they will send out a massive PDF for you to fill out. It was like 15 pages long. That was a serious form. So this is just to let USC know that you are interested in studying with them. I know that some universities actually charge you, like you have to pay to show how serious you are about studying overseas. I don't know if that's common. I just know that some universities do charge you. USC doesn't, thankfully. Let me know down below if your university charges for that. It's very interesting, and how much they charge. On the website they have all the dates and that, and obviously they're subject to change every year as to when the forms are due to hand in. I know that to study in-country studies, their forms are due a lot earlier than normal country studies. So I had to hand mine in before August last year. They say from when you hand it in, within 2 weeks you will find out whether you're accepted into the GO program, and then what they do from there is they send off your application to your preferences, and then they say whether you're in or not. But what they didn't tell us was that when they say you will find out from 2 weeks, it is when the deadline shuts, not the in-country studies deadline. The deadline for all GO program applicants. So that wasn't until February of this year. I don't know if that's actually mentioned anywhere on the website, and we maybe just didn't see it, but I do remember we were very confused as to why we hadn't heard anything. So upon, you know, they say 2 weeks, and I think it was about 2 weeks that we found out, yes, you're accepted into the GO program, woohoo type thing. And then they send out an email saying, we have nominated you to your first preference or second preference or whatever university. And then you have to play the waiting game as to when you'll find out if they will accept you. Japanese universities are very slow at replying back to you and saying whether you've got in or not. I found out last month that I was accepted in to Ritsumeikan University in Kyoto, but it had been a very long time. I don't know why it takes them so long to say yes, they'll accept you or not. But the worst thing was, or is, that because our school semesters are so different, that USC had already opened the courses for next semester, and I was still waiting to hear back if I was going to be accepted. So I didn't want to roll in any classes if I was going to be accepted. So that was probably a very stressful thing, because I knew that if I didn't get accepted in, I'd left it too late and I would be in really bad classes, like really bad times, and that was even if they had any spaces available for the classes I wanted to take. Basically, that's how to go. I rambled on quite a bit. So it's very simple. I assume this is for all universities. You can contact your international office or even your student administration and ask them what you can do. Or on the website, you just, check that you're eligible, get the application form, make sure that you get it in before the deadline, and then you basically just sit around waiting. Waiting to hear if you've been accepted into the program and then into the university. I do want to quickly note that USC's Go program is very, very flexible. They have their eligibilities and they are dead serious that I don't think they will make an exception if you're not 18 by the time you want to go. But basically everything else, if you have good grades and aren't failing your classes and are very determined, they can help you. For in-country studies, okay, if your GPA isn't 4.5, however, you are getting high distinctions or distinctions, you're like acing your language classes, they will overlook that. Another one is 8 courses completed. I'm sure if you had been doing 8 courses, so you'd completed 4, and you're in your second semester and you failed one of your courses right before you were supposed to go on exchange, I'm sure they would overlook that if you had a good enough reason for failing. If it wasn't that you were just lazy and didn't turn up to class or didn't hand in the assignment. And then for the in-country studies, they recommend you have completed Japanese C by the time you go over there, so that then when you go over there, you know how to at least introduce yourself and ask where a toilet is or something. But they have made exceptions for people that have only done Japanese A and B. So just a year of Japanese, and I think even a semester. I think they've done that before as well. But you have to have a pretty good recommendation from your Japanese teachers to be eligible to do that. So even though they have all these eligibilities, they're pretty flexible, which is one thing I really like. So that's how to go. I don't know if maybe you want to see a video about applying to an actual Japanese university. If you are interested, leave a comment below. I hope that I maybe helped some of you people out there that are interested in studying overseas on exchange with the university. So I'll see you guys next time then.